Welcome to the Leadership Brief, a space where I share stories and insights from my coaching and leadership experience to impart actionable tips to level up your leadership and life. In this week's episode, I share the most crucial difference between high performing teams and dysfunctional ones. I'm fresh off a wonderful week in Nashville and Greenville, visiting friends and family for my kids' spring break. I'm also preparing for a workshop tomorrow on one of my favorite topics, conflict. I'm drawn to this subject because it's personal. I still struggle with how and when to address tensions in my own life. My work with teams continuously helps me develop these skills even as I guide others. In my years as a coach and a leader, I've observed that a key difference between high performing teams and dysfunctional ones often comes down to one critical factor: whether team members talk to each other or about each other. I've observed this pattern repeatedly. Teams that struggle most are those where concerns are shared behind the back of the people who need to hear and address them most. When we choose gossip over direct communication, we sacrifice our team's creative problem solving potential. We've all been there. A colleague leans in, voice lowered. "I just need to vent about something Ryan did in the meeting." This creates an invisible bond, satisfying our tribal instinct for connection and othering while providing emotional release for the person who is feeling the discomfort. But venting devolves into gossip when a conversation you should be having with the individual turns to one you're having about them instead. And gossip has a steep price. Research confirms that more gossip on teams leads to less productivity and higher turnover. It erodes trust, creates invisible faction, and prevents direct problem solving. One of my clients, a marketing vice president, once shared that they've never led a team with this much drama. By stepping back, we discovered two issues: an organizational structure that exacerbated the tension, and a team lacking tools for constructive conversation. Through coaching and practice with constructive conversations, they developed skills to address issues directly with one another. Once they tackled both the structural issues and communication patterns, the team had a successful reset. Don't get me wrong, venting with someone you trust has its place. Just remember that every moment spent talking about colleagues rather than with them wastes energy that could fuel innovation instead of division. The most powerful step in breaking the gossip trap is recognizing when you're slipping into it. Here are some key strategies I share with my clients. First, the gentle pivot. When gossip begins, redirect. "I wonder if talking directly to Jamie might help resolve this." Could be something it sounds like. The second is the solution focus. Separate the person from the issue. Rather than saying Mark is disorganized, reframe the problem to "our project tracking needs improvement." This shifts the discussion from blame to collaborative problem solving. Then there's the reality check. Ask yourself, would I say this if the person were standing here? If not, try to redirect the conversation. There's also something I call the ownership commitment. One leadership team I worked with created a simple rule: concerns go to the source and never sideways. There's also the accountability lens, which really is about, before you discuss others' shortcomings, reflecting on the assumptions you're making and the stories you may be telling yourself about the situation. Then consider the role that you may have played in exacerbating the scenario. It may help to remember that how you talk about absent team members often predicts how others will talk about you. When you model direct communication, particularly as a leader of a team, you're creating a standard that extends to you as well. Breaking the gossip habit isn't easy, but the payoff, increased trust, clearer communication, and a stronger team performance, is worth the effort. What strategies have you found for effectively reducing gossip on your team? Share with me in the comments.